2, and 1. Bing, we're live. It is the AsyncVoter Mob. We have Nimit, we have Michael, we have Brent, and myself, Sam. So I think what we got up to last time was that we've got the changes made to the AsyncVoter API. It now supports also users and the users and something else. Anyway, we've got those set up.
Sources, yeah.
Users and sources.
Yeah.
And it's hosted and running with MongoDB on Azure Doku, so that's all good. So the next step that we identified is we need some sort of client that we can use to talk to that system from the AsyncVoter / command. Yeah, it's kind of the main thing, and then we can see if we can start dumping data into that system. I guess I'll also say, I mean, I've got this funny, weird feeling at the moment that kind of I'm finding myself, I'm kind of this task switching thing where I do a different project each day, and I don't necessarily get to focus on taking the projects forward myself very, very much. Shall we just quickly go through where we are with different folks? Brent, and no pressure at all, and I don't expect you to have done anything at all because you're doing so much on so many projects. It's absolutely outstanding. So there should be no implied, like you should have done. Did you have any thoughts or any progress, any blocks on the AsyncVoter?
So I did start the client. I haven't got very far at all because I'm sort of learning, and so I've been watching a few Pluralsight tutorials on Node and stuff. Unfortunately, I've not done as much as I would have liked because the MOOC is taking up more time than I expected it to, if I'm honest.
No problem at all.
But yeah, so I have made a start in terms of planning it. There's no real code yet. I'm just sort of playing around with a few things. But yes, I mean, I'm happy if other people want to get involved, but if not, then I will just plod along, but it might take a little while I'm certainly doing the MOOC at least anyway.
Yeah, no worries. Good stuff. Now, Michael, anything on your side? You were interested in being able to dump data from the system to use it for analysis and so on. Where are you at the moment?
I haven't really done much on the data dumping. I've pulled a few things on it, like a few of the Redis images that we have. I probably need to do that again, like today or something.
Right.
I haven't like analyzed that data or anything. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess then there was the question of is it going to be stable? Is it actually storing it effectively, and so on? Yeah, I guess your focus has maybe switched to another part of the data, which is the premium data, which we're making good progress on in website 1. More to do there too, but yes.
Yeah, but I do have a continuing interest in if we can get the degree, all the data that's being stored in Redis right now, if that can somehow be, permanently stored somewhere into the API or whatever.
And presumably accessible via an API.
That would be great too.
It is like that would be really handy for doing analysis and so on.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working towards.
Yes. So Michael, are you suggesting that we should maybe take the data that's in Redis and put that into the API MongoDB too? So we've got the historic data basically.
Well, that would be great, but I'm saying I think the first step is to what degree are you guys actually storing the live data now, like the new data?
Yeah, the new data at the moment is not being stored at the moment. I mean, it's going into Redis. Once we have a client, then we can, and then once we've hooked the system, the AsyncVoter / into the client, it can store it in the this permanent store. So yeah, I think it'll be switch that on first, and then we can look at getting the historic data in as well.
Right. Okay.
And Nimit is here. Hey Nimit, how are you doing? Long time no see. We're not getting any audio from Nimit at the moment. Can you hear us, Nimit? I guess maybe you might want to check your headphone connection and possibly restart the Hangout for it to find your microphone. Rose is also here. Rose, great to have you with us. I guess you're stopping by. Are you aware of the AsyncVoter project? Rose is muted at the moment. I guess that brings us back to me. So, well, the Nimit's going to rejoin us. Rose is maybe away from the keyboard. Yeah, I guess, you know, I know you've got to go in 15 minutes, Brent. I wonder, other things being equal, shall we just look at where we are with the Node client? And Nimitz, let's see, Nimitz rejoined. Maybe Nimitz audio will work now. Nimitz.
So the Node client that like is gonna interact with the API?
Yes, and I mean, you know, the Node client, this doesn't necessarily have to be a completely standalone thing. Although
because the voter itself is in Node right now, right?
Yeah, everything's in Node. I mean, we've got, so there's AsyncVoter, there's the Slack command thing itself, which is currently storing all of its data in Redis. We've got the AsyncVoter API, both of these being hosted in the same location. The AsyncVoter API exposing a RESTful interface so that it can be posted to, you know, like when someone started a vote, you know, we could post to it. So it's, oh God, why has it gone there? So I guess you're unmuted now, Rose.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, this phone. I'm trying to.
Cool. I'll just mute you while you're taking the call. So yeah, so here's the async. So this at the moment. Let's have a look. Have we got? Yeah, is the main code in AsyncVoter.js here?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So at the moment we've got all of these commands which stick stuff in. That's not that one, or is it? Yeah, in the repository here, and so in principle, I mean, we want a hook in here that sends it over the wire. So I mean, one could, you know, construct a node command to do the, like, you know, HTTP requests, but we were sort of talking about writing a wrapper that would give you, you know, commands to do that, and Brent's been looking into that. So that's where we are. So Nimit's back. I guess maybe Nimit try and use the text chats if the audio is not working. But so I guess you didn't start particularly on any code yet, Brent.
No, I haven't. So no. I'm getting close to where I'm comfortable. So I've got an idea of how I'm going to do it. So I think, yeah, when I get some time, I probably will make a start very soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, up until now, I've just spent a couple of hours looking at other people's node modules to see how they've been sort of put together.
So have we thought at all about like robustness to failure? Because we're talking over a wire.
Nope, we haven't thought about that at all. I think we're just at the stage of like making sure that we can talk over that wire. But I would imagine that the sensible thing to do is that we store the thing in the Redis cache first, and that we then
try to persist it.
Yes, we then persist it, and you know, we basically wait for a confirmation, and if the confirmation fails, then it would sort of try and do it again with some kind of throttling process. But the Redis stuff would still be being used. I mean, what we could do here just quickly is we could just check that we can actually post some sort of sensible thing over the wire, you know, from the command line. Nimit's just telling us he did a long break due to lots of work, but wants to get back involved again. So yeah, Nimit, if you're interested in working on that, I mean, this is sort of the key task is to look at this thing with Brent and or Michael if he wants to get involved. But so if we go to there we go. This is the not that I need to be in this particular location, but so we've set it up now. I'm forgetting what is that. I think I've created an endpoint for this, which is like production dots. There we go. API production. There we go. Stories like this. So this is, yeah, we've got nothing in there at the moment. I haven't tried to put anything in there. So here from this, if I put the appropriate URL in here, then in principle, this will try and stick data in there, and we can just see if that works.
You need to add a source to that as well.
Do I need to add it? Well, I was going to try it without it and see what happened, because I think we haven't got any validation going on.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
There we go. And so right off the bat there, it's telling me cannot post. Oh, I didn't put stories on the. It's got that silly me. I mean, this is a independent. Oh, there we go. Right, and it's returned that, and so we should actually. This is actually, I think, the first that we should then be able to see. Yeah, stories. Whee, whee, yay. So I think that this is like, kind of the key thing with RESTful APIs is having this, because you might be trying to get the client to do something from the node, what have you, but being able to check that this works gives you like okay, right, the problem is, is it with the API not working correctly, or is it with my system? But so, I mean, we kind of, we could just wrap the meeting up there. I would just, in my mind, quickly look at, what's if we want to, in Node, post data over an API, and this is sort of just recapitulating what you will have done already, Brent, which is a look for these things. Presumably there are ways to do it raw, and there are libraries that allow us to do it. Did you find that any promising looking libraries?
Yeah, there was two I looked at. One was I think it was just called REST library or REST, and the other one was just HTTP, I believe. Right,
REST library, Node.js. And so HTTP, I mean, that's maybe what we're seeing here, which is a rather, set up a. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, right. HTTP.request. Yeah, that was one of the ways I was definitely looking at.
Indeed, there, and then the Node REST client. I think we were looking at that at the very tail end of things last time, weren't we? Yeah. And that. Yeah, is that simpler to use, or is it pretty much the same?
I think it's, I think you write less code with this one, but I wouldn't say it was any easier, but yeah, you definitely write less code, I think.
Yeah. I wonder then here, if I can do like npm, can I just do npm install Node REST client and then run this?
Is that like client maintained or something, or have we looked into the history of it?
I think we did, and it's on.
Yeah, it had a lot of downloads.
A lot of downloads. Where's the open pull request? There we go. It's here, and it's 309 stars. Updated. It's not massively, but hopefully it's just like really stable and working. We could have a quick look at like issues to see what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's not necessarily somebody jumping in there and like answering all of the immediate issues, but it's the kind of thing that, But so I was wondering there if we can do something as easy as just run Node from the command line there and just do this. Having just installed it there, and then so presumably. So this would be like, that's doing a get. Like the equivalent of doing a get would be to grab, this would be the URL that we want to grab. And I could just construct here from this. So this would be the way to get data. like so. Pop that in there. So presumably, if that was all working, this would dump out this data and response. I wonder what those two things are. Oh, there we go. Woo! What did we get back over the wire? That was the get. Gosh, lots and lots of data.
That's mostly the object.
It is mostly the object. Yeah, I'm just trying to find somewhere where it actually
body.
The body that came back. So it was dumping the data and then the response. And it looks like the data is client request href. There, it's telling us all about the request, headers, path, stories, request.
There's the data.
Oh, there you go. I think that's the response, isn't it? There.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nice. And then it also had in the acid test is of course doing a post. So we can do the same thing with the client. If we want to construct a post, registering on the moment, I wonder what registering does. Oh, I guess that's setting it up so that you can, oh, that's interesting. You can like register it and then you can like keep calling it with different things. Interesting. But then, so we've got this. So now if we wanted to post something, we just did an example of that here, there. Did I do it there? And it's going to be like way up, that little curl operation that I had here. So this is the sort of data that we want to send across, like that. So we've got data, right? So that, yeah, it would be data exactly like that. And so name, let's call this test size 3, and then we'll just put test in there, test URL, like so. We can set up the args. Stick that on the. Go on. We can do. Come back here. What are you doing? There you go. Right. That's args. Ooh. No, I've broken it. It's got the wrong number of curly braces. So, okay. Really? No. Okay. Let's try that again. I think I've lost. Did I somehow? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you need it after the end of after the 69, don't you? You need a curly brace.
Like this, and then we've got. I think, yeah, like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then we stick that in. Okay, yeah. So disconcerting the way it says undefined, and then now. So yeah, so we've got get to stories, and now here we've got post to stories, and so presumably this would be sort of the thing that we would want be the code to send that out on there, and rather than worry enormously about it, let's go and see in the interface if we've got a second story. We do. Yay! So yeah, I guess the real quick and hacky way would be to just modify a version of, was it this that we were looking at? Or was this? So this is AsyncVoter Surge.js Slack command. Yeah. So you could just sort of stick that in. I mean, I guess what you would potentially do here is you'd still have the stuff sticking it in the repository. What's this res send? I guess that's sending back the response, isn't it? So there would be like, we'd have kind of like once the report, we'd known that the data was stored safely in the Redis, we would do a fire and forget operation there to send off the thing to the API, and then this would execute in parallel. So we wouldn't leave the users hanging waiting for the other API to respond. But yeah, so one could make it. This is what we were discussing last week, wasn't it, Brent? One could be making a client that was a separate standalone package that we would then pull into this. Yeah. I think that's up to whoever's working on it to find
I just thought that would be neater, and then if we want to use it elsewhere to store,
yeah,
we can do.
And I think I'm almost on the line of like, oh, it's kind of like we might probably won't use it and it's overhead, but actually, just to have like a clear single little one node module that was the client for the API, and we can have then tests specific to that API that just checks that it works and so on. Then yeah, it could be quite nice and neat. But I think you've got to go now, haven't you, Brent?
I have, yes, in a minute or so, yeah. So
yeah. Well, I think we'll wrap up there. It's a shame we can't get your audio, Nimit, but do feel free to connect up with Brent in the Nimit. I'm using for a last chance saloon try on the microphone. Unfortunately, not today. Sometimes when my microphone's really not working, I have to reboot my computer before it will work again. Hopefully that won't be the case for you, Nimit. But yeah, if you'd like to get involved in this, is kind of it's the key thing. I don't think there's huge other action that we can take on the voter. The voter's being used heavily and asynchronously, and very positively. And big thanks to Michael, and I think also possibly Marianne for setting it up so that it now allows multiple votes in each channel. Very, very handy. Yeah, if we can get this client done, that's the key thing. So yeah. Oh, also Nimit, if you want to book a pairing session with me to work on that, you can do so, as I don't think you've done that. And I've got a new booking system to sort that all out. So I'll send you some links on that. All right. Good show. Well, thanks, everyone. Brent has to go. I mean, I'm around. I'm just going to make a cup of tea. Michael, Nimit, Rose, anything else on your minds?
No. Is that it?
Not really.
I mean, there's no more meetings today, right? Or am I?
Well, there's several. I'm not going to be in any of them because I'm going to be spending quality time with my family. But we've got excitingly coming up. We've got the local support pairing hoedown thing, which I think is that in an hour, Brent?
Yes, 6 UTC. Yep. And
then you've got the RFM meeting is in about 3 hours. So.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye for now. Take care, everyone.
Cool. Cheers. Bye.